The growth of hemp originally started with a pilot program in Tennessee back in 2015, but it really opened up in 2018.
369, the nays are 47. The conference report is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
That's when Congress passed the federal Farm Bill. In it, a clause allowed for Americans to grow hemp as long as it didn't contain too much Delta-9 THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient in cannabis. But it didn't say anything about Delta-8 or Delta-10, which create similar sensations.
Delta-8 is generally one that is going to hit you, it's a little milder than your Delta-9. You've got Delta-10, which as I understand it, I don't consume that, but it has more of a caffeine-style upper type effect.
After the Farm Bill passed, the Tennessee market exploded in 2019. It was poised to actually level out a bit in 2020, but then the pandemic hit.
You also have had a national change in kind of how people have viewed cannabis. I think that my parents' age group, the baby boomers, are not the same as their parents when it comes to, you know, the devil's lettuce and marijuana being the worst thing in the world.
When COVID-19 forced people across the country indoors, it helped open up a new market of people simply looking for new things to try out on their own, leading to a large boom throughout the state. But last year came an attempt to completely kill it.
We don't want children to have access to these. We want to make sure that if someone is purchasing a product that they know exactly what that product is, because there are many of these products that are absolutely addictive and can be dangerous to an individual.
House Majority Leader William Lamberth initially hoped to ban the Delta products outright. But after pushback from the industry, the senator he was working with decided to move forward with a regulation bill instead.
If you were to purchase a Diet Coke, okay, you're going to experience you're going to expect an experience that is, every time the same. You drink that Diet Coke, you know exactly what you're getting. If you purchased a beer, you would know that that would be different than the Diet Coke that you purchased, that there are different substances in there, different experience.
The bill also levies some new taxes to pay for testing and oversight of those products. When that bill passed last year, it authorized the Department of Agriculture to establish rules and regulations around the industry. One of their proposed rules this year would essentially ban smokable forms of something called THCA, which is similar to THC, the ingredient in cannabis that makes you feel high.
THCA is in the hemp plant, and through the course of the grow and at the end of the last stages of the grow, THCA starts to convert to Delta-9.
When THCA is heated, it turns into THC. Currently, it has very few restrictions, but if those proposed rules from the Department of Agriculture are ratified, then it will essentially ban THCA, which has frustrated the industry.
There's a big push and a fight for them to change those rules, and if they don't change those rules, there may be litigation. You may have a big fight on your hands.
In Nashville, Chris O'Brien.